Now, a lot of texts and comments still coming in about the vigil that is planned for Saturday for Waterford. You hear Liz mentioning it there on the news as well. And also people very, very interesting about the comments coming in about statues. Some people say you have to be passed away for more than 10 years before you get a statue. This is not true. If you go to Shannon Airport, there is a statue already up there for Paul O'Connell. He's alive and well. Let's honour great Waterford people, says Tony in Ferrybank. Nice to hear Brendan Boyer sing My City of Music, but the song belonged to the late Denny Corcoran. No one can sing it like he did. Good morning. Is it right that the COVID payment is to be reduced to job seekers? I'm a part-time worker and in the last phase, so can't go back to work. I want to work, but I'm going to be down €70. This is not right. It's great for McDonalds that have opened their drive thru, but that's only for people who have cars. When will they be letting people sit in again, says Robert. And other people have been texting in to talk about different matters regarding wind farms. We're going to go straight now to Paddy Massey. Good morning, Paddy.
Good morning, and Damien.
Thanks for joining us and good to talk to you. You are chairperson of the Blackwater Wind Aware Group. I suppose it's a committee of 13 people, represent the committee of those affected by the plans. The Dungarvan Observer has it on the front page. I know the Leader has it as well. Again, if you're in the Dungarvan areas, make sure to support local journalism. Buy the newspapers, please do. West Waterford residents anticipate imminent planning application after An Bord Pleanála rules that proposed how do you pronounce it? Linacarriga Wind Farm? Linacarriga is a strategic infrastructure development. So just cut to the chase on this. Are you saying, and what is the situation, are An Bord Pleanála saying that this should go ahead?
Basically, where we're at the minute is An Bord Pleanála have looked at a pre-planning application that Energy Renewables Energy lodged in 2018, in May of 2018, asking that the project be viewed as what is known as a strategic infrastructure development. The board have ruled on that as of last Friday and said yes, in their opinion, it is a strategic infrastructure development. What this means for us as a community and for the county is that the Waterford County Council will no longer be the ones who would be sought to approve planning application on this. The developer would now be able to go straight to An Bord Pleanála, making the application there, making it harder for residents within the Waterford area and the West Waterford area to object. OK, and let's just remind our listeners, the Innogy, as it's pronounced, INNOGY, and Highfield Energy, they're proposing to construct up to 25 wind turbines in the West Waterford, East Cork area, and turbines up to 150 metres tall on a site approximately 1,900 hectares, approximately 5 kilometres southeast of Tallow and 15 kilometres northwest of Youghal. What's your response to what An Bord Pleanála have ruled, Paddy? I suppose the first point that I would make is if you look at the layout of the wind farm on the map, it's actually two wind farms split across two counties, one in East Cork and one in West Waterford. Yeah. The wind farm is bisected by a scenic route, which is a no-no in terms of planning application. I mean, the process at the moment for An Bord Pleanála is they're just box ticking. What they're looking at is does it cross county bounds? They're looking at the number of turbines and the megawatt output. And at the moment, they're just box ticking, going through an exercise. I suppose the point we would make is, when do one wind farm become two wind farms, or when do two wind farms become one, because they're actually separated by nearly 2.5 kilometres, the two sites. And, going forward, when this goes for a planning application, there's a lot of points that need to be raised, namely the existing wind farms in Waterford. We have Barnafaddock and we have Woodhouse, which are causing considerable nuisance to the residents that live around them. We have a further 8 turbines planned for Knocknamona, which is beside Woodhouse. We have turbines planned for Ring. We have turbines planned for up behind Dungarvan, and 25 turbines, or up to 25 turbines for Knocknamona. So, if we don't stand up and object now, pretty soon we're going to turn around in 4 or 5 years' time and look at West Waterford and think, what the heck happened? How did this happen? How did this happen?
And once they go up, obviously they're not going to come down. And I know you're a small community group, and what you've been saying is you're effectively trying to fight a multinational company that has billions of euro in revenue. Would you accept, Paddy, the bona fides of On Board Pleanála, that they would take into consideration a lot of the points that you've been making?
There is no rhyme nor reason to the decisions that Bord Pleanála have made in relation to wind farm planning applications up and down the country. I mean, we would point to the Ardglass decision in East Cork, a site just north of Middleton, which is no more than 12 kilometres west of the site where the Energy are proposing their wind farm. And in 2017, On Board Pleanála turned down planning permission for that on the grounds that it was close to the Blackwater, that it would destroy rural amenities, the density of the population there. It was close to a scenic route, and it would set a dangerous precedent for wind farm development on that ridgeline of hills. But we can't take that as a guarantee that they won't grant planning permission to this, because, as I say, there does not seem to be any rhyme nor reason to the decisions that On Board Pleanála have made.
Yes.
If you go down West Cork and you drive from Bandon down through West Cork and onto Bantry, you get a quite a clear view of how the countryside can be absolutely and utterly destroyed by these things. And bear in mind, the ones in West Cork are relatively small to what's happening in Waterford. I mean, we're 127 metres at Woodhouse. These ones are 150 metres. And by the end of the planning process, they could be even higher, because, they're getting bigger all the time. When Cathal Hennessy was with you last in the studio over a year ago, he said they're becoming more efficient. What he means by more efficient is they're actually becoming bigger and bigger and bigger. And these things were never meant to go onshore. They were meant for offshore.
And I was looking at your Facebook page, Blackwater Wind Aware. I know you're doing a GoFundMe page to try and raise money for the campaign. Do you believe there is a chance that you will be able to overturn this decision, or what happens next?
The next, what would normally happen is when a developer is granted a strategic infrastructure status, you would expect to see a planning application going within 2 to 3 weeks of the date of that decision being made. Whether that holds true at the moment because of everything that's going on with the COVID pandemic, we don't know, but we can't afford to take that risk. So we fully expect planning application to raise its head sometime in the next 2 to 3 weeks. When that planning application is made, there'll be a file number, and as soon as we have that file number, we will be spreading that out to everybody in our local communities, and we'll be spreading that out to everybody in our local community, and asking them to make objections. So we'll be sharing that through our email contacts, our website, and our Facebook page, and we'll probably, attempt to do a mail shot.
Paddy, it's good to talk to you again, and take care, and we'll keep in touch, okay?
Damien, just before you go, I'd just like to say that, for the last 12 weeks, we've been in a very difficult situation, and as a community, we've really been able to appreciate what we have. And it's important that we fight for it. And it's also important to say that while people are under this level of stress, for a multinational company that's turning over billions, to use an opportunity like this to potentially lodge a planning application it leaves quite a bitter taste in the mouth when everybody's trying to deal with what's on their plate in front of them, and now another thing's being thrown at us. So,
yes,
we're going to do our best.
Paddy Massey, thanks very much for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Damien.
Thank you, Paddy. They're chairperson of the Blackwater Wind Aware Group and representing sections of the community in West Waterford. Let us know what you think. Wind farms, do you think it's a good idea? Is it an essential? Is it something that should only happen offshore? Even if it is offshore, would you be against it? And if you are one of those people that is living underneath or close to where these wind farms are, I know there's different restrictions and different regulations and guidelines, and obviously the company involved saying that they will meet all those guidelines, and that Bord Pleanála has ruled this SID status at present, that developments will continue as they see. So let us know what you think. Next, how far would you go for Le Big Mac? Now, welcome back to the programme. Damien, you mentioned Val Doonigan earlier. Now I have Paddy McGinty's goat stuck in my head. Thanks for that.
Now Patrick McGinty, an Irishman of note, fell in for a fortune and he bought himself a goat. Says he, sure of goat's milk I'm going to have me fill. But when he brought the nanny home he found it was a bill. All the young ladies who live in Killaloe, they're all wearing bustles like that.
Now you'll be humming that for the rest of the day. I love that when somebody texts in. Eddie texted in as well. We shouldn't be erecting statues to mere humans unless it is that of Our Lady. We have our priorities all wrong. In relation to the statues, it would be lovely, but funds will be the problem. Maybe we can put up photos and plaques relating to the vigil. The Debenham workers were stopped by Gardaí. I'm wondering what's happening with this vigil on Saturday. Damien, if we're going to have a statue to Brendan, make sure that we get somebody that looks more like, doesn't look like Ronaldo. Damien, the tagline on the news bulletin said, are you staying at home? And asking people to stay at home. And these Egypts want to protest on Saturday. I don't know.
The knot was going to tie, she washed out her trousseau when she hung it out to dry. Along came the goat and he saw the bits of white and chewed up all her folderols upon her wedding night. Oh, turn out the light quick, she shouted out to Pat.
And that's Paddy McGinty's goat, specially for Julie Smith Kirby. Now, how far would you go for a Big Mac? Well, I went out yesterday afternoon to try and talk to some people who are queuing for the Big Mac. I know the queues are out there this morning. The guards were out there as well. So we'll go from Paddy McGinty's goat.
And he shouted, hip hooray. He held up the note shouting, look at what I've got.
To the report on the Big Mac. How excited are you?
Very excited.
What are you going to get?
The things you do for a bit of macas. Salad.
You're going to get a salad, yeah. You're going to wait 3 months to get a salad, yeah. I'd say very much, yeah. What are you looking forward to?
Salad.
What about yourself?
A double cheeseburger meal.
How much are you waiting for this?
Too long. We could be waiting another 2 months for it, you never know. Could be shut down in 4 days, so we're going to take what we can now. Okay, bye.
How's it going?
Not too bad.
Doing a little bit for the radio.
Lovely.
How excited are you?
Too
Very
excited. It's been too long, months now.
Been months.
Yeah.
What are you going to order?
Mozzarella dippers for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. Limited menu, but we'll see what we get when we get there.
Have you been checking out the menu beforehand online, what they have?
Yeah, of course.
Always.
We're literally looking it up right now.
And what do they have?
They have the veggie deluxes. They don't have any of the breakfast stuff or any milkshakes or anything, but
Yeah.
it'll keep us going anyway.
I'll let you pull forward there.
Perfect.
And have you been watching for this day for a while?
Yes.
We've
been keeping track online.
We thought it was tomorrow, but we found out this morning that it was today, so...
We got in the car straight away.
Straight down, had to do it.
Where have you come from?
Oh, just up the road,
Just
Lower
Lower
Newtown.
Newtown.
Lovely. What's the names?
Owen and Clodagh.
Clodagh.
Enjoy.
Perfect.
Thank you very much.
Have a nice day.
See ya.
Hiya.
How's it going?
Oh, grand. I'm here. I'm queuing for my father. He just got out of hospital out there. He just spent a few days out in intensive care. And I'm here queuing for his favourite fillet now. This is my second time around because you're only allowed to spend €30 limit per car. So I had to drop off all the teenagers with their meals, and now I'm back down for the second time.
We'll give him a special mention there. Pull forward
Mick
there.
Stokes is his name.
Mick Stokes.
Yeah, well, Daddy.
And how is he?
Oh, he's doing very well, thanks
ahead
be to
there, go
God.
on.
Very well, he's doing brilliant. He gave us all a bad fright, but he's doing very well now. I'm getting your fillet of fish for you, Daddy.
So tell us, you were out here this morning already?
I was here about an hour and a half ago with the kids, and then we didn't know, obviously, till we were in the queue, that you can only spend a €30 limit per car, which is fair enough, I suppose. So I got all the teenagers so they wouldn't be hungry, and I got their food, dropped them home. Now it's Mammy and Daddy Mick's time.
What did you have yourself?
Not yet. Now we're going to queue. We're all getting fillet of fishes.
You like the fillet of fish?
And maybe some nuggets as well.
Enjoy.
Thanks very much.
What are you going to order?
Oh, a double cheeseburger without a doubt.
Have you checked the menu online? Because there is a limited menu.
Oh, I did indeed, yeah.
What are you going to get yourself?
Probably the same, I'd say.
Will you get 2 of them or 4 of them?
At 6.
I'm bright red.
So are you excited?
Can't wait.
Can't wait. Brilliant. Are you excited?
Can't wait for it.
What are you going to get?
I'm going to get a Big Mac meal and a kid's meal for the little fella.
Have you been waiting for this for a long while?
Oh my God, especially the little fella. He can't wait. He'll be clapping his hands now. if we get in.
The guards have just arrived. The traffic delays are bad.
They're telling us to move on now, look.
Go on, I'll let you go. You're directing traffic out here. How bad has it been?
We were for a while. I've never seen that like this. There was a 2-lane, it diverged into 2 lanes back there, and it stayed like that for about an hour. You know yourself, it's a bit crazy.
Unreal.
Yeah, I'm just glad he's breaking it up now. But kind of feel for the people waiting for about last hour, and now they have to leave.
This morning, and then the guards have arrived because the traffic is just unbelievable. We're only operating with 1 lane at the moment, and the orders are quite big because people are very excited that we're open again. So yeah, it's great. We're thrilled. We're thrilled to be back open. Hi there, and to be getting somewhat back to normal.
These queues that are here at the minute, obviously they might only there'll be an initial surge. Hopefully it'll calm down after a while.
Maybe for the first week, that's the kind of feedback we're getting from other stores that opened, that the first week was absolutely hectic. That there's definitely a demand for McDonald's, and people have missed us.
The very best of luck.
Thank you very much.
And continued safety to everybody involved and all your staff. I know you've put in place special measures and everything.
Absolutely, we've done everything, and that's why it's taken us so long to reopen, to ensure that we have all these safety measures in place.
And what's the surname, Siobhan?
Siobhan Sanderson.
Joe Byrne, how's it going?
Oh, we're going grand, except for the traffic we've generated. As you can see, we've got a couple of guards out here trying to organise us and get more cars into our drive-through.
You were onto them last week.
I informed them that we were reopening and there would be traffic issues, and I was onto the city council. But look, they're over. They've a lot of work on their plate, so to be fair, they can't be everywhere.
You knew it was going to be busy.
We knew it was going to be busy. Sure, we had the record of 6 stores opening up in Dublin and what happened in the UK, and people are waiting for us to open. We can't. We're here to serve our customers.
And there's limits, €30, but I'd say a lot of people are ordering. So
we had a couple of orders. That there wasn't many over 30. People are being the customers have been really good. You know, they understand where we're coming from. We can only put so many people in the kitchen anyway, so we can't produce so much food as we used to. And there will be delays even when they get to order. But we're doing our best, and we are very popular with everybody, and hopefully they'll come back later on when the traffic eases. Obviously the weather today has given people a reason to get out in their car rather than staying at home in the garden.
And it just shows as well, I suppose, the appetite for people for a little bit of takeaway. Again, not getting into the rights or wrongs of it, but people have missed it for 3 months.
3 months, and it's pent up hunger for McDonald's food. My daughter lives in London and she queued for 45 minutes last night, and she's a dietitian, so there you go.
And you put in place special measures inside, all the staff,
huge amounts of special measures. We've 14 perspex screens in place around the kitchen. Everybody inside the building wears a face mask. Hand washing every half hour, sanitation every hour, touch point sanitised. We've moved the keypad outside the window, so they just have to touch it and drive past. Obviously if it rains we have to take it back in. Hopefully we'll get through the first few days and ease the pressure off from the traffic.
And just ask people to be patient.
I think customers will be patient. They've seen the YouTubes and the WhatsApps and everything else that's gone around, so they know what to expect. I just think the guards didn't expect us to get this busy so early, because we were like this the day we closed as well.
Now, Teresa texted in, am I the only one who thinks that people have lost the run of themselves with the opening of McDonald's? It's a bloody burger, lads. Another texter, shower of clowns, some people blocking up the road for a Big Mac. Some people haven't got a clue. Other people saying that, they can't wait to go. Again, it's not an advert, just to reflect what people are doing and what people's tastes are. I'd like to wish Colm Halen a happy birthday. Love from Caroline. Happy birthday retirement. To Michael Joy, Kilmacthomas, from Billy, Bridget, Ger, Joe, Kyle, Darren, Dylan and all the family. Liz has just handed in a note from the Gardaí regarding the vigil being planned on Saturday. Here's the statement, and you'll hear more about this in the news later. Thanks, Liz, for this. Gardaí and Waterford say they did have a discussion with organisers of the vigil on Saturday. They were informed that there was to be no large gatherings under COVID-19 restrictions. They were also told, in other words, the organisers were also told, that if there are any breaches, the organisers will be held responsible and Gardaí will take the necessary action. What do you think? 083 3333 975. Now, people still texting in about the vigil that's planned for Waterford on Saturday. If people are giving out, why are they not giving out about meat factories and other places where social distancing is important? Another texter saying, fair play to Seamus. I'm in Tramore. My partner's in Roscommon. I haven't seen him. I live in Tramore. No one is giving out about the number of people coming to Tramore. This protest should go ahead on Saturday. Others saying, no, it definitely shouldn't go ahead, that it should be not allowed, says this person. So let us know what you think. Now, we're going to talk to Tom. Good morning, Tom. Tom is an army sniper, an ex-army sniper, and now a businessman with Traw Coffee Roasters. Now, Tom, good morning.
Morning.
How are you?
Good, Damien. Yourself?
I'm good.
Good.
Tell me a little bit about yourself. We're going to talk about business. We're going to talk about coffee.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about yourself first.
So, I'm Tom Weldon, who lives in Tramore. I've been in the military for the last 21 years. In them 21 years, most of my time was spent as a sniper instructor. I represented Ireland as a team coach for the International Sniper Competition in Canada. Sniper. So, yeah. So it's a weird combination from sniping to roasting.
Tell me about is there military background, history in the family?
No, I have no military history at all in the family. It's just something I always wanted to do as a young kid. Always wanted guns, the usual stuff, you know.
Were you going around with sticks pretending you were guns?
Yeah, I did. I'm still doing it with my son right now. So,
and what age were you then when you signed up, or how did you get into it?
So I signed up I think I was about 19, 18. I saw the advertisement. They were recruiting really hard at the time. Signed up straight away. I did 3 to 4 years in the Curra camp. I transferred to Cork, where I met my wife. I did another 5 years there. We moved back to Tramore. Did another 5 in Clonmel, and then Clonmel shut down the last round of cuts.
I was there. I remember covering it. Yeah.
Yeah. So then we were moved to Kilkenny. So that's where I did the rest of my time in Kilkenny.
What's your wife's name?
Sinead Weldon.
Sinead eventually.
You'd have to. She is.
And the children?
Yeah, and Ben and Rachel. Sinead does my Instagram and my social media for Traw. Shout out.
Did you find you were suited to the military?
Yeah, I loved it. I really enjoyed every minute of it. But once I hit my 21, I knew it was time for me to go to better pastures, really. I wanted to spend more time with my kids. I wanted to stay at home more, pick them up from schools. When I was in the military, I was pretty much deployed in the Curra or overseas or something like that. So, yeah, no, I knew once I hit the 21 years, I was heading off.
Why snipers? Why this idea of a solitary, precision, specific, I suppose, training within the military?
Yeah, so sniping's not really... They're teams. So a sniper will always have a pair. So you either have your sniper and your spotter. And then in that, there's a section. So you have more snipers in that section. You're not solitary. You're working as a very close unit, all right. But it's just something I really wanted. I was pretty good at shooting. I was, and then I really enjoyed the whole real close team unit. Best friends, they're still my best friends. They will always be my best friends. We always had a tight bond with it. Sniping was only starting to really kick off when I joined up. So we got new weapons, new sights, we got new clothing, and we were all part of that. And we fed into all this, the new stuff, new body armour and all that kind of stuff. It was really interesting, and it just kept me going and going and going.
Tell me about
best friends there.
Tell me about the extremes of the shooting that you could do. For example, how far away could you hit something?
So recently now we upgraded our weapons to Accuracy International 338, which would get you out to 1,200 metres, probably second round shot. If you're like myself, you might need the extra one.
Just explain that.
So it's just the calibre of the weapon. So it had a better velocity of the actual round to travel that distance. So we in the Glen of Amal is where you could get that type of range in the mountains there. So you'd actually get that type of shot for that kind of distance.
So 1,200 metres, 1,200 metres.
1,200 metres, you
how big a target?
Okay, if you look at a car door, you'd be happy out to hit that car door. Now, you wouldn't be hitting a person really, do you know, at that type of range, but you definitely scare them off.
That's some distance.
Yeah, it really is a great weapon. with that shot, you also have to take into account windage, and you have all the devices to get you that windage. You have all your spotter there calling each call. There's a lot of practice in to be able to comfortably take that shot. You know what I mean? So it is a good distance, but the calibre of the weapon is outstanding, and the military has good sniping.
How long did it take you to learn to breathe properly, to be at one with your weapon?
Yeah, so that does take a long time. You need hands-on constantly. So because of sniping, it was such a new kind of concept. When I started, our CEOs would always let us off. We just to the range, get a car, get weapons, get ammunition, and off we went. And it was great because you just learned so much. And then when we hit the international teams and hit the international competitions, that's when sniping just took that different level. We were competing with the SEAL teams, we were competing with the Brits, Germans. They were all brilliant, and everyone just talked to each other. There was no that competition. It was a concentration, as they call it. So we learned from that, and that's how we got the upgrade from the 338, which was great because it really just made us to that best level. And then you had the Ranger Wing there winning the competition only a couple of years back, which was brilliant. Do you know what I mean?
What about movies? Looking at Hollywood and...
Yeah, sure, Hollywood, they do the best. Like, it's hard to, when they're running down the stairs and they're hitting first round shots, like, that's hard, you know what I mean? Like,
is it true to life, or is
no, it's not.
Bull?
No, a lot of it's bull. Like, you'd be looking at it. When I used to do that, it took about 5 rounds to get near them. It's grand when you're lying down, chilling out, having a coffee, take the shot, then relax again. But when you're actually doing it, like in competition mode, you're running, you have body armour on, it's hot, the ghillie suit's itching you, it's getting caught on bushes. The reality is so different. That's why that sniping level is so tough and the pass rate's so low.
You mentioned going on international duties, and thankfully Ireland is not involved in any aggressive military operation, so it's peacekeeping.
Yes, yeah.
Did you ever envisage a time where you may have to shoot and kill somebody?
It's always in the back of your mind. No matter what deployment you go on, we all say Liberia and Chad, we always had the sniper weapon with us at all times. But yeah, there wasn't a time where you kind of go, oh geez, that guy has to be taken out. Do you know what I mean? But it's always in the back of your mind. This situation could escalate, and you're going to do Overwatch, because most of the time we did Overwatch. So when the troops went into a little village to just talk to the locals and stuff, snipers would be up high overwatching the rest of the lads. But there was never a situation where it got hairy enough where you're literally going to pull that or squeeze that trigger.
But there were times when you had your sight trained on potential targets.
Well, you'd always be watching. Yeah, you'd always have eyes on your troops, and your paranoia will always kick in when you're overseas. You're kind of, oh my God, who's that? Why is he doing that? It's like a game in your head, but it's in real slow time, if that makes sense. Yeah, like, it's been an exciting ride.
It's not how would you wouldn't describe it as a macho thing. It's not that.
No.
But this idea that you literally could take somebody's life from 500, 600, 700 yards with one pull of that trigger. And obviously you want to protect your colleagues that are down there talking, interfacing with these people. You don't want to make a mistake, but you don't want to be the person that has let your fellow colleagues down.
Yeah. So, like, that's why sniping's so important. Them decision, and you have to be very mature. You can't have the young buck going in there all guns ho, wants to do it, things like that. It's everything has to be thought about. Like, that pull of that trigger can change your life forever. Like, when you're in country or you're in the mission, you don't really think about that type of what's going to happen afterwards. But then when you talk to like some of the lads on the international teams, you're talking about their stories and their horrific stories. They have to deal with that every day in their minds. You know what I mean? Mental health is huge in militaries outside and in our own. But when you're trained, you don't really think about it. You're just, all you're focusing on is protecting my troops down there. And then the aftermath, hopefully you have a good psychiatrist.
We mentioned Hollywood, and there's so many Hollywood movies where talk about that transition that you just mentioned from the military to the civilian. And some people can't cope with that, and they end up going back into a military life, and they're longing for it. And that can be an over-exaggeration, but You're now doing something completely different. Have you ever felt in the last few years, because of this, a longing to get back to that kind of that buzz, if that's the right way of putting it?
Yeah, so when I was thinking about leaving the army, I said, I'm going to give this one last more go, because everything I did in the military was around sniping. All my best friends were all snipers. And I said, right, I'm going to give this another 2 to 3 years of just concentrating on sniping. But it just wasn't there. I was just getting older. The knees were sore. Running around with young lads, it is tough. The fantasy of going back to where I had is not the reality of where it is now. I want to be home with my kids. I wanted to come home more often. It just wasn't fair on the sniper unit either, because some days I just didn't want to do it. I just, lads, I just want to go home, have a coffee. So my transition was pretty good, because I gave it everything. You can't recreate them memories. Do you know that type of way? I had the best times of my life in the military, but I just couldn't recreate them, and I didn't want to ruin it. I just said, right, that's it. I'm going to cut it now. Had the best time ever. It's time for a new chapter.
This new chapter, it's a new chapter now as well because of business. Tell us what you're doing.
So I've set up a small micro roastery in Tramore that just roasts specialty single origin coffees to pretty much anyone that wants it. It came along when I was sniping in Galway when I was instructing with a mate of mine. I was saying, I have to change path here, buddy. And two of us had a great conversation saying, I'm going to set up a coffee shop. And then fantasy just took over. And I said, what kind of coffee would I have? And then I said, you know what? I'm going to roast my own coffee. And he was looking at me going, why? You don't well, just buy coffee with you. I said, no, I'm going to roast this coffee and make it my own. And so it was lashing rain in Galway. I haven't seen the family in 3 weeks. And I just said, I need a change. So this eureka moment came. I said, I'm going to roast the coffee. So I researched it. It took me 6 months. I did costings. I did all that kind of stuff. Met with the sister who funded me, because obviously it's an expensive hobby, really, if you call it. So I met the sister. She was all on board. So I got taught up in Dublin in coffee laboratories with Alan. He was brilliant. He said, where the path you're going down is not a money maker. You're not going to make millions out of it. I said, I'm happy with that. I just want to be at home. I want to roast coffee. I want to supply it to the locals.
Hold that thought for 1 second. So, Tom, you've come from a military background. You're a sniper by profession, 21 years in the military, and you're now going to be roasting coffee. Are you mad?
Yeah.
Do you like coffee?
I love coffee, and I always wanted to somehow get into the coffee industry if it was going to be owning my own coffee shop or roasting my own coffee. So the best of both worlds was roasting coffee, because I was still in the military while I was roasting. So I could really test the market, really, while I was still in the military. So the risk wasn't there for me just to jump straight into roasting coffee.
Did you get a taste for coffee, for example, going to the different places abroad with the United Nations UNIFIL troops like we're talking about? You've got Burundi coffee there, you've got Brazil, obviously, roasting. Did you get a taste for it abroad?
Yeah, so when we were in Chad, we were with the Swedish Army, and they used to have their own coffee, and they used to grind it themselves, and we used to go over and acquire some off them. So, and it was always fantastic flavours, really light. And I think it was an Ethiopian your man was telling me about. And I was like, oh my God, what is this coffee? This is not the Nescafe red label that we normally get. And I was like, oh my God, this is a different world. And this was in 2009. So I came home and I kind of started drinking the Javas, Coffee House Lane, Waterford here, brilliant coffees. And then obviously Bewley's. And then I just got this. It was like an addiction, kind of going, oh, I want the next one. I want the next one. Then all these little roasteries started opening up. Like the 3FE, which fantastic coffee, roasted brown, also great coffees. And I was going, oh, this is where I want to be. You know what I mean? This is the level I need to be at. So I kind of researched it all. I said, I've got the best of beans, I'll get the best of origins. So I started to roast at home in my little kitchen with a 1 kg roaster, puffing away little coffees. And then the army lads were loving it. They were buying it. Then they'll give you honest feedback, which, being a military man, it's tough to get sometimes, the honesty. So I'd adapt the profile to suit the majority of people that wanted it.
And what makes your coffee different from others? What's the secret ingredient?
Yeah, I don't know. Secret ingredient is probably it's the specialty coffee. I don't blend the coffees because the likes of the Burundi here. That's an amazing coffee that has flavours coming through it, all the nice little fruitiness coming through it, and if I can roast to a profile where it's not as light as some other competitors and it's not as dark as the other, whatever. It's somewhere in the middle. And because I'm a small batch roaster, I have more control on a lot of the coffees that I roast because I can adjust the gas properly or speed up the drum roast. It's kind of a little bit of complex in it, but I can do that with a small little roaster. And then obviously the coffee is just outstanding that comes out of it. You must know yourself.
And were you using any military parlance, like are you saying to people, take a shot of this or anything like that?
Well, I at the very start, I was. Like, Traw came out of the world because of my sister, thank God, because I was going down the military route. I wanted, it was going to be called Accuracy International Coffee, or it was going to be some weapon coffee or something like that. And then my sister, thank God, said, no, it can't be that, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Let's go focus on where you're from, Tramore, Traw. And that's where we kind of bred from.
I know things are difficult at the minute. Are you hopeful?
Yeah, I am hopeful because since this happened, the locals are supporting really, really strongly. My retail sales are gone through the roof. Thanks to a local businessman, Barry Rogers. He took me under his wing.
Barry Rogers, tell us, what difference has Barry made for you?
Yeah, so Barry's been great. He's the local business guy in Tramore. He owns Chia Bia there, and he's given me great advice. He's supported me from the very start. He's got me into. He had a small factory shop. He had got me in there, gave me 100% of the sales. Then that grew into Bia and Baru, put me in there. More coffee sales. People were starting to know about Traw. He'd give me a bit of advice on where to go with the branding. His team has been excellent. He owns the Cove stores now where it's just retail. Traw retail is allowed in it. And he's in the hoppers for all the coffees. So I get first-time feedback from all the customer bases.
And you're taking it just one step at a time?
One step at a time, yeah. It's like a military operation. I have Traw in phases. We're in phase 2 now at the moment, which is new branding, new bagging, same great coffee. And then we'll hit phase 3 where... my sister might have to come into play with that phase 3.
And your sister's name?
It's Joanne Weldon, yeah.
And she's happy she made that decision to influence you.
Yeah, thank God she did influence me because it was going down the army route and Traw went to me Traw.
Thanks very much. The very best of luck with it.
Thanks very much, Damien.
Thanks very much, Tom. Tom Weldon, appreciate you talking to us. And it's Traw Coffee Roasters. It is a beautiful tasting coffee. Now I'm going to be talking to Craig Breen in a second. Firstly, fair play to Tom. Great that he's starting a new business. Bet he wants to buy gunpowder tea. Huge thank you to all the staff in Orthopaedic 2 at UHW for all the great work they've done and shown love and care for Margaret Walsh during her recovery. And want to wish Anita Quinlan very happy birthday from Donal and the 3 children, Nikki, Teresa, Robert and grandchildren Mia, Cueva, Caden Quinlan in Passage East. Craig Breen, good morning.
Morning, how are you doing?
I'm good, thank you. I'm good. It's good to talk to you again. You've made the final shortlist of 25 for Waterford's greatest sporting hero in conjunction with Flahavans. Congratulations, fair play to you.
Thank you very much. No, nice to be recognised. Obviously, I'm in a minority sport. Not a lot of people know what I'm doing other than doing a bit of hooligan in cars around the world. But no, it's nice to get a bit of recognition.
Yeah, it is a minority sport, but you're very well known and you're very, very good at what you do. So you're in the Citroen World Rally team, the World Rally Championships 2012, WRC Super 2000 World Rally Champion, scoring class wins in Monte Carlo, Wales, France, Rally of Spain. How are you at the minute and where are you? Are you back in Waterford at present?
Yeah, I came back to do a rally in West Cork. It should have been on Patrick's weekend, and unfortunately it was cancelled, and I kind of got stuck here for a while then. But obviously we are residing at Nora now since a few years. But I have been back here during the whole COVID thing, for kind of batten down the hatches, and I've been keeping myself fit and training. just getting ready to get back whenever it will be.
Yeah, I was going to ask you that in terms of obviously doing all the work inside and all the gym work and trying to do an hour a day or whatever, because it is so demanding and physically demanding, the rally driving. Have you managed to keep up that momentum of keeping the body in some way fit?
Yeah, to be honest, I feel as fit now as I was probably when I was in CAT. When I was in my teens. I've just had so much time to focus on it now. The last couple of years, last 10 years, I've been just, you've nearly 150 plus flights a year, so you're just kind of going from one place to the next. It's difficult to get a proper routine to training. So now it's just been, absolutely all hands on deck and just trying to give it everything I can. So, in that aspect, I feel great. I feel, it's as good as I've ever felt. Just have nowhere to apply it for the moment.
Yeah, and obviously you can't get out in the car very much driving. And will it take you long to get back into the groove of the driving? Like, do you lose it? Like, I presume if you're not in a car, if you're not practicing every week, you do fall back a little bit.
Yeah, no, it's not easy, and I suppose the last couple of seasons I've been in and out. Obviously, I stopped with Citroen at the end of 2018. I've been with Hyundai now for the last 2 seasons, and I haven't been getting so many opportunities. It's just been a couple of rallies in the World Championship, and I even noticed it then. When I'm trying to compare and compete against guys that are in the car week in, week out, it's extremely difficult to be as sharp as them. But I just try and do whatever I can. And now it's extremely rare that I can't drive anything. I can't do anything, driving related. So all I've been doing is just some simulator work. I've got a simulator here at home in the house here, and I've just been working away on that and just trying to keep as sharp as I can. But the only advantage is this time that it's the same for absolutely everybody. Nobody can do anything. We can't do anything. All other sports, runners can go, they have a garden, they can run within their 5K or whatever. Whereas I can't do anything. My sport physically, stops. So it is strange and it is tough. And the first time back again is going to be very, very weird. It's going to be the longest I've been out of competition of any kind since I was probably 8 years of age. So it's very, very bizarre.
And what is the plans to get back? When are you looking at getting back?
Again, start to test again. Hopefully next week. I have to get myself down to Italy next week and start some testing there. But the events, it's not looking so nice for the moment. I was supposed to be back in the World Championship in Finland, which would have been the first week of August, and they cancelled that yesterday. And then the next round of the championship is New Zealand. That was cancelled this morning. And the next one is Turkey, which is September. And to be honest with you, that was already looking quite shaky even before any of this COVID thing. So it's not a nice place, the World Championship at the moment. But I'm also doing the European Championship program, and that should, in theory, start in Rome in the end of July. But there's a massive protocol that needs to be followed for the events to run. Obviously, it's not like circuit racing can go back earlier because they can close the spectators, and it's very, very easy to manage. Whereas rallying it across public roads, if people want to get there, they can. They just need to cross fields. They can do whatever they want to get there. So to manage the people and to stay within the social distancing guidelines, it's extremely difficult. So yeah, we just have to wait and see.
Craig, hello to you and your family, and it's an honour to talk to you this morning, and we're delighted that you've made the final list, and we'll give the details out about how people can vote for you now as well. So the very best of luck with it.
Thank you very much. No, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Not at all. It's good to talk to you, Craig. Take care, mind yourself, and all the very best for the rest of the season, OK?
Perfect. Thanks.
Thanks. God bless. Craig Breen there, who has made the short list. He's a 30-year-old Irish rally driver. As you heard, some of the honours that he has won already, and we're featuring different people every day as part of the Waterford Greatest Sporting Hero in conjunction with the wonderful Flavins. Our expert panel of 4, Ray Scott, Matt Keane, Michelle Ryan and Kieran O'Connor, compiled a final list of 25 names. Voting is open on WRFM.com, so you can go there. Throughout the month, we're asking all the listeners to vote for your favourite, and on Friday the 26th of June we will announce the overall winner. So there's 2 ways to vote. You can only vote once on WRFM.com, or you text the word HERO and your nominee to 083 3333 975. So text the word HERO and your nominee to 083 3333 975, or you can click on WRFM.com, Ireland's local station of the year. Now, thank you everybody for all your texts and comments and calls. I haven't got through to everybody. I know quite a few people texted about wind farms as well. They are living underneath proposed wind farm locations. They're not happy. Others saying that we have to have some kind of wind farms. And many other people texting about beaches being full and why aren't the guards doing something about that if there's going to be issues regarding this vigil on Saturday. Hello, Tom. Tom Weldon, thanks for the lovely prize I won from you on the leader competition. Looking forward to meeting you tomorrow. That's from Edwina. Thank you, Julie, for producing. Thanks to all our news team. Jeff is up next. Have a great day, folks. We'll talk to you tomorrow.